Hello, today I'll read from the book of Ruth, the chapter 2. In chapter 1 we saw that who was Ruth, who was Naomi, and what Ruth decided. She decided to follow Naomi even if all the things that happened to Naomi, maybe Naomi thought of herself that she's that God is that God has made her life very bitter, and her life really was really from such a yeah her husband died, her two sons died, and but no, Ruth didn't left Naomi, and she chose even don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go I will go, and where you stay I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely. It's like a poetry, but if anything but that separates you and me. And they were arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. Now let's see what's happened in the chapter 2. Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side from the clan of Elimelech, a man of standing whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." Wow. She was like a beggar, and they became so poor and so... "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went out and began to glean in the fields behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she found herself working in the field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Wow. Just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they called back. Boaz asked the foreman of his harvesters, "Whose young woman is that?" The foreman replied, "She's the Moabitess who came back from Moab with Naomi. She said, 'Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the harvesters.' She went into the field and has worked steadily from morning till now, except for a short rest in the shelter." So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here with my servant girls. Watch the field where the men are harvesting, and follow along after the girls. I have told the men not to touch you. And whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." At this she bowed down with her face to the ground. She exclaimed, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me a foreigner?" Wow. She had not that kind of ego, of pride of herself. Boaz replied, "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Wow. Such a nice image. May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my Lord. She said, you have given me comfort and have spoken kindly to your servant, though I do not have the standing of one of your servant girls. Wow, wow, wow. She had no pride of herself at all. At mealtime, Boaz said to her, come over here, have some bread and dip it in the wine vinegar. When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. As she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men. Even if she gathers among the sheaves, don't embarrass her. Rather, pile out some stalks for her from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up, and don't rebuke her. So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it amounted to about an ephah. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. Wow. So beautiful, and they were poor, very poor, and her mother-in-law asked her, where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you. Then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz, she said. The Lord bless him, Naomi said to her daughter-in-law. He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead. She added, that man is our close relative. He is one of our kinsman redeemers. Then Ruth the Moabitess said, he even said to me, stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain. Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it will be good for you, my daughter, to go with his girls, because in someone else's field you might be harmed. Naomi is thinking much deeper than just, oh, that man is kind to you. Maybe she likes you. He likes you, or something like that. So Ruth stayed close to the servant girls of Boaz to glean until the barley and wet harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law. In the chapter 1, at the last part of the chapter, it was, so Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. And now we saw that what Ruth had said, let God deal with me, and so much more. And it's like a hope. Naomi was looking at herself and she has said, I am cursed. Yeah, but you have someone, you're not alone. You still have someone on your side, and that is a very precious thing. A friend, and not just a friend, a daughter-in-law that she care of you. She want to live with you. She don't want to leave you alone. She want to live with you, to die with you. She was ready to follow you everywhere you go. She find in you a mother maybe, and she was not just kind. I mean, she was look at her. Look at her character. She had no ego of herself at all. She was like a beggar. She didn't. She even bowed her head to Boaz, in front of Boaz, to show that she is not showing herself that she's important or something like that. And Boaz saw her more and more. Okay, that was the chapter. Yeah, the story, the real story, it will continue in the chapter 3. That was the chapter. May the God bless me, protect me, and delight me in the next chapter too. And if you want, you will see me there too. God bless you all, and goodbye.